Hey, if you're a woman over 60 and your blood pressure went up right around the same time that your hormones changed, that's not a coincidence. And you need to watch this video because there's a connection between your hormones and your blood pressure that nobody explained to you. Not your cardiologist, not your gynecologist, not your primary care doctor. Nobody connected the dots. So I'm going to connect them for you right now. My name is Joel. I'm a registered nurse and a naturopath. And for 20 years, I've worked in the ICU and the ER. And my wife, who's also a registered nurse, focuses specifically on women's hormone health. So between the two of us, we've heard from thousands of women who were told that their blood pressure was just going up because of their age, when the real reason was sitting in their hormone panel the whole time. So this video is going to connect the two things, blood pressure and your hormones. So here's what happened to you. You went through menopause and your estrogen dropped. And when you went to the doctor, he unfortunately treated those two things as separate problems, your blood pressure and your hormones. And what probably happened is your gynecologist handled your hormones and your primary care physician handled your blood pressure. And they never talked to each other. They never connected the dots. And that's normal because you probably got a pill for your blood pressure and maybe a pill for hot flashes, maybe a pill for sleep, and maybe a pill for mood. So 4 pills, 1 root cause, and nobody really identified it. There's a billing code behind each of those pills, but there's no billing code for connecting those dots. So let me explain what actually happened inside your body when your hormones shifted. Simple, no big words, just the truth. You see, before menopause, estrogen did something most women never knew about. It supported their blood vessels. So estrogen helped your blood vessels stay flexible and relaxed. It supported the production of nitric oxide specifically. So nitric oxide is that molecule that keeps your vessels open. So when estrogen is present, your vessels are softer, blood flows easier, and your pressure stayed lower. But then menopause happened, and it's just a normal fact of life that it's gonna happen. And what happens when you go through menopause is that your estrogen drops and your blood vessels lose their bodyguard. So without estrogen supporting them, your vessels got stiffer. That meant less nitric oxide, less flexibility. Your blood pressure had to push harder, and then your pressure went up. So that's why your blood pressure went up in your 50s, even though nothing else changed. You didn't eat differently, you didn't gain weight, you didn't stop exercising. Your hormones shifted and your blood vessels responded. Nobody probably told you that because nobody connected the dots. But it doesn't stop there. When estrogen drops, your body becomes more sensitive to cortisol, the stress hormone. So before menopause, estrogen helped buffer cortisol. It acted kind of like a shock absorber for your system. So you'd get stressed, but estrogen would help soften the impact. But after menopause, that buffer is gone. So the same amount of stress now hits your body harder. Cortisol stays elevated longer, and cortisol restricts your blood vessels. So you've got stiffer vessels from lower estrogen and tighter vessels from higher cortisol. So both of these are pushing your blood pressure up at the same time. That's not getting older. That's just a hormone shift that nobody talked about. And then there's sleep. When estrogen and progesterone drop, many women experience changes in rest quality. So hot flashes interrupt your deep rest, night sweats wake you up, anxiety keeps you from falling back asleep, and when you don't rest long enough or deep enough, your blood pressure doesn't dip at night the way it's supposed to. So that's called non-dipping. And non-dipping is associated with increased cardiovascular risk. So you've got the hormone shift disrupting your rest, and the disrupted rest elevates your blood pressure. The elevated blood pressure is still treated as a separate problem, though. Are you starting to see the picture? So there is one root cause, 3 symptoms, 3 different pills, but nobody's really connecting them. So here's what you can do about it. Here's what supports all 3 at the same time. Number 1 is ground flaxseed. Ground flaxseed. You can buy ground flaxseed pretty much anywhere, and it is incredible for helping balance hormones and lower blood pressure. You only need 2 tablespoons every day of ground flaxseed. Now, when you grind the flaxseed, you need to make sure that you eat it within like 10, 20 minutes of grinding it. So eat it fresh because it does oxidize and it takes away some of the power, the potency of it. But in flaxseed is lignans, and lignans gently support your estrogen balance. Researchers observed up to a 50% reduction in hot flashes with flaxseed consumption. So if you have hot flashes anytime in your menopausal journey, you've got to get flaxseed. It has omega-3s that support healthy blood vessel flexibility as well. Second food, pumpkin seeds. Huge magnesium source. It supports blood vessel relaxation and deeper rest quality. So your nighttime sleep is so much better when you have taken something rich in magnesium. If you can't get a food rich in magnesium, my showcase contains lots of great magnesium products. Go check that out. The next thing that you can do to really help support your hormones and your blood pressure is walking. Exercise has been over touted by so many people. You make it super complicated and expensive, but walking is the number 1 exercise for people to do, especially women over 60 when you're dealing with hormone-related high blood pressure. Movement supports nitric oxide production, and that's the molecule, again, that your vessel lost when your estrogen dropped. So that nitric oxide is going to be boosted when you take a walk every day. Morning sunlight is another one that really supports your serotonin production during the day. So melatonin and your melatonin production at night. This supports your rest cycle, that circadian rhythm we talked about in my other videos. And it's so important to get the morning sunlight to really trigger your brain into producing the serotonin. So that means better rest, better pressure dip at night, and better hormone regulation. And one final supplement that I do encourage women to look into is saffron. Researchers have explored saffron and its relationship to mood and rest quality. So it's in my showcase, you can check that out. But here's the piece that matters most, and I think it's community. You can't fix your hormones and your blood pressure while you're carrying the weight of the world, all the stress, by yourself. Community matters, connection matters. And so having women around you who understand what you're going through matters, because cortisol drops when you're not carrying it alone. So that's exactly what my wife Annie is hosting right now. She's putting together an event. It's going to be live in Louisville in June, and her keynote speaker is Barbara O'Neill. Barbara O'Neill, if you don't know her, please look her up. She's one of the most respected voices in natural health on the planet. And this event is specifically designed for women who are dealing with the exact connection I just explained. Hormones, blood pressure, rest, energy, brain fog, the whole picture. Not treated separately though, but treated together. So if you want more information, just DM me the word restore or comment below this video the word restore, and I'll send you the details. There is going to be virtual option available, but also I highly encourage you to be there live. You will get things you are not able to get online, and I'm going to be there. My wife's going to be there, And Barbara O'Neill herself is going to be there, along with a panel of other well-known speakers on TikTok and YouTube, all women, all talking about how to balance your hormones naturally. So, in closing, your blood pressure didn't go up because you got older. It went up because your hormones shifted and your blood vessels lost their bodyguard. So, estrogen supported nitric oxide. That was the key. Nitric oxide kept your vessels open. So when your estrogen dropped, your vessels stiffened and cortisol hit harder. So we talked about flaxseed, we talked about pumpkin seeds, we talked about walking for nitric oxide, sunlight for serotonin and melatonin, and community support for cortisol. So again, if you would like to be in a place where all the women are seeking to do exactly what you want to do with your hormones and your blood pressure, comment restore in the comments below or DM me the word restore, and I will send you how you can get your own ticket to live Barbara O'Neill in June. Remember, genetics writes the recipe, but lifestyle bakes the cake. My name is Joel. Be your own doctor.